Hello and good afternoon. This is the Joy News channel and our live coverage of the mid-year review to be presented by Ken Ofori-Atta, Ghana's finance minister, is about to begin. We are live, of course, on Joy 99.7 FM, and we're grateful that you're able to join us. We're going to be with you throughout the review and then do some analysis of it at the end. I'm here with my colleague Winston Amwa, and we're gearing up to get into all of the details. Right now, we can take you live to Parliament, where the finance minister is expected to get started. The speaker is taking his seat, and we will immediately get started. Why don't we go straight into the chamber?
Duty as on thy side. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and their good purposes for the common good of life be realized in our midst. Amen. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, communication from the President. Mr. Speaker, 22nd July 2020, absence from Ghana. In accordance with Article 59 of the Constitution, I write to inform you that I'll be travelling outside the country in the morning of Thursday, 23rd July 2020, to Bamako, capital of Mali. The visit is at the invitation of the chairperson of the authority, heads of state and government of ECOWAS. His Excellency Issoufou, President of the Republic of Niger, to join 5 regional leaders comprising the presidents of the republics of Cote d'Ivoire, Niger, Nigeria, and Senegal, to assist in the resolution of the current political crisis in Mali. I returned to Ghana in the evening of the same day. During my absence, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, shall, in accordance with Article 60 sub 8 of the Constitution, act in my stead. Yours sincerely, the President. Honourable members, votes and proceedings, 22nd July. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. 7. Page 8. Yes, Honourable Minister.
Page 899, Prempeh Matthew Okoko, noted absent, but I was here yesterday. I was here yesterday.
And conspicuously so. Thank you very much. Page 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, in respect of page 10, and I'll relate it to page 12, when you accordingly said that, Right Honorable Speaker, referred the subscriptions. If there was any subscription, it's only one. But even the subscription in item II, we only see the AFDB of UAE 1.82. We have always advised the table office to ensure that the dollar equivalent of that amount is what appears in our record. So if you say UA1 824,140,000, nobody will understand. And then we should separate the agreements you refer to the finance committee and just deal with the subscription in II to stand alone. Thank you. 10 and 12.
Honorable, are you responding from your seat or you want to make a point?
There were two subscriptions referred to the committee. One on page 9, Roman 1, and then the second one which you referred to on page 10, Roman 2. So the table is right in capturing it as the subscriptions and agreements.
So in effect, there's no difficulty. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Yes, Honorable
Mr. Speaker,
Chairman.
page 18, item 16, the Minerals Income Investment Fund amendment. Debate concluded, Mr. Speaker. The only thing we didn't do was to approve the question. Debate concluded, and if the first deputy speaker who was in the chair, yes, debate concluded. As a matter of fact, we were getting ready to put the question when the minority leader said he was going to call for a head count. So if debate had not concluded, how was he going to call for a head count? Debate concluded. The only thing outstanding is for the question to repeat, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
Speaker, debate could not have been concluded on that subject. Indeed, I rose and then indicated that we had some objections to the bill, particularly in a paragraph which sought to oust the authority of the Public Financial Management Act and other related issues to a special purpose vehicle. So nobody even from our side. It was just Honorable Inus Hussaini and myself. So we said that if the Speaker wanted to proceed further, we'll invoke our standing orders to subject it to a vote. And he respected that and said he would defer. Then I said the leader was out of town. Therefore, we needed to subject it to more consultation. And the Honorable Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation proffered some advice. Thank you.
Yes.
Even Hansard will bear me out when I said debate had concluded. And members on the other side intimated, they asked whether I was even the speaker to say debate had concluded. Debate concluded. The only thing outstanding is for the question to be put. We were on this for almost 45 minutes. So I don't know why the table would. And, okay, the Minister.
Honorable members, very well. It was consideration stage. It was second reading of the bill. And the majority side was wind up. Therefore, debate was not concluded. If the majority side was to wind up, and the debate is not concluded, let's leave it at that. Because whatever it is, we can continue positively. Let's have a purposive application of the rule here. Well, incidentally, Honorable Doctor, I've ruled. We shall, at the appropriate time, we shall have a purposive conclusion of it. Whatever any honorable member says is left, we deal with it and kill that stage of the bill. So shall we please proceed? A18. Page 19, page 20, 21, and page 22. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of 22nd July, as corrected, is hereby admitted as true record of the proceedings. At the commencement of public business, we make a little variation in order and take item listed 5. Honorable Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we can begin with item number 5, except I've been told that a member wants to have us, that is the House, have a second consideration of an aspect of the bill that we ran through the consideration stage. It is not a very huge matter. I think it's something that we can deal with. I've had some consultations with the minority, and I guess we can deal with it now.
Well, thank you very much. That's very much in order. Consideration stage. Who is that? No. Very well. Honorable Majority Leader, who is moving? Very well. I didn't see anyone standing. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Standing Orders 131. And Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence and your leave, I move that the clause 104 captured in the order paper of 21st July 2020, which was moved and accepted and adopted, be taken through a second consideration stage. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the motion. She said clause 104. Mr. Speaker, this morning the Majority Leader consulted with me. It's just the word original and duplicate that she wants to improve the bill. I so second the motion. Thank you.
Very well. All those in favor? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. We shall go through the second consideration stage. If the Marshal will please. Thank you very much. Now, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm seeking to delete the words from clause 104.
Clause, you are dealing with clause.
Pardon? 104.
Additional clause.
A traditional clause and an additional clause, an additional subclause 4, which reads, where the original of a deed of document cannot be provided, a duplicate or a certified true copy of the deed or document may be accepted by the land registrar for registration if the land registrar is satisfied with the authenticity of the duplicate or certified copy. Mr. Speaker, I believe strongly that we need to delete the word a duplicate, because we live in an age where a question of trust, the issue about trust, has always been an issue, even with people, very close family members. I believe that a duplicate is a semblance of the original copy, but a certified true copy is always an authentic one, which can only be requested by the owner of that property. And I believe that if we open our doors for just the presentation of a duplicate, we might put the properties under jeopardy, considering the current occurrences in our country. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I support the amendment, and it will be instructive, Mr. Speaker, to hear from the first Deputy Speaker and probably Honorable Inusa Hussaini. When we got to this particular clause, I even was insisting that at the end of the words, we should add original to it. But her explanation is that you must have a duplicate to obtain a certified copy of the original. If that is the case, then you don't need to repeat the word duplicate. Other than that, we may be passing a legislation that tomorrow people will just trade in photocopies of documents, and that can create problems for us. So a request for second consideration to delete the word duplicate is sound, and I support it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Hussaini.
Mr. Speaker, the provision in 104 makes room for the original of the document to be available, and a certified, a duplicate of the original, and a certified true copy of the original. These are three different scenarios. Now, what we are amending to presume is that the person who has a certified true copy must have made it from the original copy. In law, the certified true copy can only be authenticated when the person authenticating the certified true copy sees the original. If they don't see the original, it cannot be authenticated as a certified true copy. That is why this law provides that a duplicate. So if the land registrar is satisfied that the duplicate that the person has presented, mind you, a copy of the land registry document will be with the land registry. So if the land registrar is satisfied that a copy, a duplicate of the land, the document is Mr. Speaker, when you are speaking and the Minister of Defense interjects, you have to stop and listen, because he could be without a warning. So if the original is not available, then you are not going to get a certified true copy. And that means the owner of the document will not be able to register the document at all. It's not possible. So we are looking, that is why the three provisions have been put there. I understand the reasoning behind it, but it might work against the original owner of the document. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So we are settled. All those in favor of the amendment say aye. All those against say no. The ayes have it. And the question is, clause 130 as amended stands part of the bill. And all those in favor say aye. The clause is 104. As amended, stands part of the bill. And all those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 104, as amended, stands part of the bill. That brings us to the end of the constitution stage.
You don't.
Thank you very much. Honorable Majority Leader, do you proceed with item 5?
That is so, Mr. Speaker. We can now deal with item number 5.
Item listed 5, Minister of Lands.
And Mr. Speaker, if I may, the minister is out of town, so we will engage, if we indulge the deputy minister to hold the fort for the minister and move the motion listed as item number 5.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader.
Speaker, I believe our colleague, the deputy minister, invoked Order 131, which earlier was to arrest the third reading of the bill by the minister. Haven't gone through the second consideration stage. I'm sure it's understandable for the deputy minister to move for the third reading on behalf of the minister. Thank you.
So we can make progress. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the Land Bill 2019 be now read the third time. And, Mr. Speaker, in so doing, I wish to say that
Yes, Minority Leader. Honorable Minority Leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I second the motion.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The motion has been duly moved and seconded. I'll put a question. All those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
An act to revise and consolidate the laws on land with a view to harmonizing those laws to ensure sustainable land administration and management, effective land tenure, and to provide for related matters.
The Land Bill 2019 is duly read the third time and passed. Item listed 8.
Mr. Speaker, item number 7.
Number 7?
Item 7.
Yes. Procedural motion. Honorable Minister for Aviation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that motion number 7 on page 3 of today's order paper, that notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order 81.
Honorable, please don't read it all.
Thank you.
Please move it without reading it all.
I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Who seconds the motion, the procedural motion? Thank you very much.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I second the motion.
The procedural motion has been duly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Motion number 8. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Aircraft Accident Investigation and Prevention Bill 2020 be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, the bill we're seeking to move is a simple, straightforward bill that seeks to establish the Accident Investigation Bureau that would investigate, prevent, regulate, and establish the management of accidents and incidents that occur within the country. Mr. Speaker, we all know that airport operations and air transport operations are fairly safe and very fundamental in moving people and goods from place to place and also generating significant revenues for national development. Mr. Speaker, Ghana has done quite well in this regard and is regarded highly globally for doing so well in the aviation sector. Since 2012, Mr. Speaker, Ghana has recorded, unfortunately, 4 major accidents and numerous serious incidents, some involving deaths of persons and damage to property. Mr. Speaker, since the President established the vision of making Ghana the aviation hub of West Africa, Ghana has done its best to try and attain this vision. Since 2019, Mr. Speaker, we've been able to amend the Ghana Civil Aviation Act 2004, Act 678, and Section 25 mandated the minister to be able to issue ministerial directives to get the operations of accident investigations done as a unit within the Aviation Ministry. Mr. Speaker, research has shown under international civil aviation functions that we need to set up an autonomous body to be able to do this independent of the ministry, independent of the authorities. Mr. Speaker, therefore, the nation seeks to be able to enhance its status globally by resorting to best practice and setting up an autonomous and independent investigation body. The experience we've noticed in other parts of the world, Mr. Speaker, even some close to home like Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Tunisia, and others far away like Singapore, Qatar, and the United States of America, have all established autonomous aircraft accident investigations within their jurisdictions. Mr. Speaker, we seek under this bill to ensure that an independent body is established and that we're able to produce the results that are acceptable globally, that will make Ghana stand tall in the Committee of Nations as far as accident investigation is concerned. Mr. Speaker, the proposed transformation of the Bureau into an independent bureau by the establishment of the bill would therefore empower the Bureau to function efficiently and effectively, and its findings will invariably receive international credibility whilst promoting air safety and positive national image globally. Mr. Speaker, as I indicated earlier, this bill is simple, straightforward. It's meant to enable us to set up an autonomous entity outside the ministry, and this bill, therefore, Mr. Speaker, if so passed, would help us to be able to get into the status where the nation would be one of the best in the world, given the high record that we established last year. Mr. Speaker, in these few words, I beg to move the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to associate myself with the motion on the floor. And in so doing, Mr. Speaker, I want to present your committee's report. Mr. Speaker, I want to seek your indulgence and ask the Hansard Department to pick the entire report as I read highlights of the report. Mr. Speaker, I'll go straight to objectives of the bill. The objective of the bill is to establish an autonomous aircraft accident investigation and prevention bureau, a corporate body to investigate, prevent, regulate, and enable management of aircraft accidents that occur in the country. Mr. Speaker, the Aircraft Accident Investigation and Preventive Law Bill 2020 put Ghana in a lake with national and international ICAO obligation and best practices and its compliance with international aviation standards. The passage of the bill, Mr. Speaker, is expected, among others, to boost Ghana's case in being aviation hub of West Africa. The committee recommends to the House to approve its reports and pass the Aircraft Accident Investigation and Prevention Bureau Bill 2020. Objective to the attached amendments, that is Appendix A, in accordance with the requirement of ICAO for member states. I respectfully submit them, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable, you have not formally seconded the motion. Very well. Now, there will now be a full debate on the principles of the bill and in line with the accompanying memorandum. Yes, Honorable.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I rise to speak in support of the motion, and in so doing, Mr. Speaker, I make the few observations. Mr. Speaker, as said by the Minister and the Chairman, Ghana's credentials in the aviation industry is growing. Indeed, in 2019, Ghana Kotoka International Airport was adjudged the best improved in Africa, not even in West Africa. It is simply because of the investments and strategies that have been taken over the years. Significantly, the improvement at Terminal 2 and Terminal 3. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention of the Minister and the Chairman to this. We are trying to establish the Accident and Incident Investigation Bureau. This is based on ICAO annexes, especially Annex 13 and 26. What that annex talks about is aircraft accident and incident investigation. However, the motion moved is for Aircraft Accident Investigations and Prevention Bureau. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, not all situations involving aircraft end up in accidents. Some are just incidents, as pointed out by the Minister. So we need to be clear whether we are setting up a bureau to deal with aircraft accident and incident investigation and prevention bureau. So the Minister can take that on board and deal with it at appropriate time. Mr. Speaker, the creation of this body gives Ghana the opportunity to have an independent body. But arguably, Mr. Speaker, as others said, the President will be appointing the Commissioner under Article 195, and the same President will be appointing the governing body under Article 70. How independent they will be depends on the people actually who will be carrying out this. I know it's not peculiar to this, but that is what our Constitution says, that the President appoints these people. Mr. Speaker, the setting up of this bureau per se may not deal with the issue. We would have to set up this bureau and resource them appropriately to be able to do what is expected of them. I hope that this bureau, when established, would not have undue government influence, and they will be able to carry out their mandate according to the ICAO conventions. Mr. Speaker, when we get to the stage of doing the bill itself, I just want to draw the attention of colleagues. Maybe 80% of the clauses are lifted directly from the ICAO conventions. So it is not necessarily the case that when we take a clause and you don't like it, you can say, I want it this way. Mr. Speaker, that is not permissible. Contracting countries, once you sign the convention, you cannot change some of the conventions. I see the minority leader shaking his head. You cannot, majority leader, sorry, you cannot fundamentally change any of the provisions contrary to what the annexes say in the clause. I know we haggle over is or in this house for a long time. Mr. Speaker, I want to shorten my presentation by saying this is a very good thing to further enhance the credentials of our country. We believe when this bureau is set up, it will make or consolidate Ghana's position as an aviation hub in the sub-region. But we believe that the investments that were made, that made Ghana a beacon of aviation in Africa, needed to continue. We need to do more in investment in aviation. Setting up the bureau alone may not be enough. I know we are on a downturn currently because of COVID, but God willing, we shall rise again as a country in aviation and be able to do these things and to make sure civil air travel in our country a safer way of travel for everybody. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I support the motion and urge colleagues to equally support the motion for the establishment of the bureau. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable. Yes, Honourable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to associate myself with the motion. Mr. Speaker, the Aircraft Accident Investigation and Prevention Bureau is the right thing to do at this moment in time. Mr. Speaker, when you take the Ghana aviation industry currently, per capita, we are the aviation hub for West Africa. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, establishing this bureau is important by moving it from administrative arrangement to an autonomous independent body. I believe that the reports of this committee in investigating and publishing in the prevention of further accidents is key to growing our aviation industry. Mr. Speaker, if you take countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia, Tunisia, Singapore, Qatar, Netherlands, United States of America, among others, have already established their bureaus, and this has enhanced their aviation industry. In fact, if you take a country like Egypt, their engineering department alone employs over 5,000 engineers. The total Egypt Air arrangement gives employment of over 35,000. And therefore, the aviation industry is one key industry that when we do it well and sustain it properly, we are sure to use it to create employment for our own people. In fact, it is for this reason that I support the creation of this bureau, because when everybody knows that Ghana is safe, more planes will be landing in Ghana and more jobs will be created in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, in passing or working on this bill, it also gives credence that Ghana adheres to recommendations that are usually given to us by auditors. In fact, in the last International Civil Aviation Organization validation mission in Ghana in 2019, Ghana scored very high. And in fact, at the last General Assembly, Ghana was awarded. In fact, it was taken by the Honorable Minister for Aviation, Honorable Kofi Adda, in Montreal, Canada. Clearly, that shows that Ghana is doing something. That shows that Ghana is up there. But it cannot be up there if we don't sustain it. And that is why it is important that an accident and prevention bureau bill is well done in this House and passed accordingly into an act so that we can appoint the commissioners and make sure that the work that they do, which currently is on ad hoc basis, can be more sustainable. In fact, the last time we did an investigation on just a simple excursion of an aircraft on a runway, the Speaker, it took us more than 4 months, and it cost us so much money to do so, and it was not sustainable. It is time that we have an agency that is independent, that is autonomous, and that can stand the test of time, so that when they investigate and they publish everywhere in the world, they can comply to the standards that the world is looking after. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I wish to support and associate myself with the motion. Thank you very much.
Very well, Honourable.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I also rise to support the motion on the floor. Mr. Speaker, in speaking to the motion, I just want to make 2 brief comments on the report. One of it is to share an observation. Airports and countries are rated by the International Civil Aviation Authority. Mr. Speaker, by passing this bill in this House,
what it would do is to give Ghana a star rating in the aviation sector. And once Ghana has a star rating in the aviation sector, not only would it, put us in good light, but it gives workers in Ghana in the aviation sector an opportunity to go and do part-time work in other airports across the country, across the world. Mr. Speaker, having said this, the second issue is the funding of the activities of this bureau. Mr. Speaker, aircraft accident and incident investigation is very, very expensive. I'm glad that 5% of the airport tax would be used to fund the activities of the bureau, 5% of the airport tax. But, Mr. Speaker, we need to be sure, 1.5 rather, we need to be sure it is done in a manner that gives the bureau a lot of resources, taking into consideration the expensive nature of investigating incidents and accidents. And, Mr. Speaker, I say so because currently airports around the world are not operating at full capacity. So what that means is that the airport tax that countries get may not be enough, judging by the fact that flights are not flying regularly. So in passing this, we would have to have at the back of our minds that probably from now till sometime next year, airports may not be fully operational, and for which reason we need to lock some funds to be able to support the bureau in times when the civil aviation industry is not having a lot of resources to do its work. Finally, Mr. Speaker, there's a correction on page 1, the last paragraph of the report. We don't need the word "to." So it should read, its enviable reputation predates Ghana's attainment of independence. And that should be taken into consideration. With this, I want to thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak to the report, and urge my colleagues to support it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable. Yes, Honourable.
Mr. Speaker, it has been suggested that since this bill is dependent or is in furtherance of a treaty that Ghana has entered into, with regards to when we come to the consideration of the bills, we should, as it were, hold our horses in terms of trying to change anything, since we have signed the treaty and therefore are bound by the terms of the treaty. Mr. Speaker, I found that curious until I averted my mind to Article 75(2) of the Constitution. And with your permission, if I may read, it says that the President may execute or cause to be executed treaties, agreements, or conventions in the name of Ghana, and a treaty, agreement, or convention executed by an order under the authority of the President shall be subject to ratification by an act of Parliament. And so, Mr. Speaker, it seems to me that what we'll be doing basically is, by this act of Parliament, ratifying the agreement that Ghana has entered into. So therefore, I agree with the general principle that our hands are, as it were, tied when it comes to the provisions of the act or the bill, which have been, as it were, taken away or duplicated from the treaty that we have signed. Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt that it is important, it's a good bill, and I do not share the concern or the possibility of lack of independence. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution must be seen as a whole. Public officers are bound by, for example, Article 23 of the Constitution, which says that administrative officers must act in a certain way. We are also mindful of Article 296. So, Mr. Speaker, I wholeheartedly support it, and I pray that members also are in agreement with the Executive, the Minister of Aviation, and support the passing of this bill when the time comes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leadership.
Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, I yield to the Honorable Nelson Dafanaport to conclude for the minority leadership. Thank you.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to add my voice for the call of this House to adopt the present report. And Mr. Speaker, in doing so, it's very important that we understand the procedure that the House is adopting in handling this report. Mr. Speaker, on the 14th of this month, the bill was presented and read for the first time. And pursuant to Article 106, Mr. Speaker, with your leave, if I may read. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Article 106, subclause 4, and it states that whenever a bill is read the first time in Parliament, it shall be referred to the appropriate committee appointed under Article 103 of this Constitution, which shall examine the bill in detail and make all such inquiries in relation to it as the committee considers expedient or necessary. Mr. Speaker, if I may add Article 106, subclause 5, it says where a bill has been deliberated upon by the appropriate committee, it shall be reported to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, this is the procedure the House is adopting. And it's also in pursuance of our own standing orders, as in Standing Order 189. Mr. Speaker, the government underpinning the agency to passing this bill, Mr. Speaker, is contained in paragraph 3 of the minister's letter to the office of the president. Indeed, in paragraph 3 of that letter, it detailed the circumstances under which the passage of the bill into an act will help to further improve our standing in view of the impending ICAO committee that will be arriving in the country to conduct another review in 2021. Mr. Speaker, the other essence of considering the bill and the certificate of urgency is further contained in paragraph 3 of the report from Cabinet to the committee, which also detailed. In essence, it speaks of the fact that during the 2029 ICAO visit to the Republic of Ghana for a review, 2019 visit of ICAO team to the Republic of Ghana to conduct another review, they recommended strongly that the existing bureau as an administrative wing of GCA be actually converted into an independent body capable of handling the matters that the bill seeks to be says with. So, Mr. Speaker, we are proceeding on the Constitution, what it says that we should do. Mr. Speaker, I believe that it would be important for us to appreciate a few air accidents that have happened in this country, which makes it very imperative that this bill be passed quickly so that we can be in readiness for 2021. Mr. Speaker, in 1978, a Navarro Cessna jet crashed near Takrady, and it killed 4 people. Mr. Speaker, in 1981, a Ghana Airways flight on a local routine maneuvering also crashed 10 kilometers from the Kotoka International Airport. Even though there were no casualties, the ground damage was severe. Mr. Speaker, in 1983, there was another accident experienced by the Kotoka International Airport. And indeed, in 1985, Mr. Speaker, as recently as 1998, a private jet was involved in an accident at the airport, and a crew of 2 men and 3 passengers were on board, and they perished. Mr. Speaker, in 2000, a Ghana Airways flight with flight number GH200 with a crew of 10 and a 44-man passenger on board was involved in an accident, and 7 persons died. And Mr. Speaker, and there have been recent accidents. So, Mr. Speaker, it's very important that this bill is passed quickly so that we can ready ourselves for the task ahead. Mr. Speaker, may I refer you to the concluding paragraph of the report. Specifically, if you look at paragraph 7, subparagraph 1 on page 8 of the report. And it states that if we are able to establish this particular bureau, it will serve the needs of the aviation hub of West Africa. And Mr. Speaker, on this note, may I urge the House that in approving the report, the Minister takes steps to also operationalize the whole airport as an aviation training hub to serve the aviation needs of the West African hub. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I urge the House to approve the report. I thank you very much.
Majority leadership. Any contribution?
Mr. Speaker, we defer to the Honourable Member for Bantama, Mr. Daniel Chemabwaji, to speak on our behalf.
Honourable Member for Bantama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion that is being discussed on the floor right now and to make contribution to the principles underlying the bill that is before us. Mr. Speaker, as a member of the committee, I had the opportunity to participate in the review of the bill, and Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to commend the Minister and the Ministry for a good job that they did so far. We're expecting to go through about a day or so, but because of how clean it was, we were able to do it. Mr. Speaker, air transport is very important, especially looking at where we are in our development process. And for that matter, any attempt to improve what we have done over the years to actually cement our name and image in the industry is quite important. So I believe that the creation of the Bureau to investigate accidents and incidents and to do prevention is a step in the right direction, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I believe that although since 2012 we've had 4 accidents, it is important that we take steps to create this bureau to make it quite autonomous, to begin to do more of prevention so that we don't have to wait to get ready before a disaster happens before we'll be able to do this. Mr. Speaker, as part of the government's agenda to make West Africa the aviation hub, Ghana the aviation hub of West Africa, I believe sincerely that this bill, when it is passed, is going to enhance our ability to achieve that vision. And not only that, Mr. Speaker, I believe that creating an independent or autonomous bureau to do the investigation will also align Ghana's practices in line with the international best practices. And I believe the findings and the work of the Bureau, because they're so independent, will be enhanced. It will be probably done very well, effectively, and also enhance our credibility in respect of whatever happens if, God forbid, there is an accident and we have to come up with findings. So, Speaker, this Bureau, as we speak, exists, except that it is an administrative unit within the Ministry of Aviation. So trying to make it an independent autonomous is pretty much basically improving what we already have. And so, and any opportunity to do so, Mr. Speaker, should not be let go. Mr. Speaker, I believe that given the fact that we would like to develop, given the fact that even though we are going through COVID and its effects, this is the right opportunity for us to be able to work on this bill. And I encourage the rest of my colleagues to support, because I believe this will help us to achieve our mission of making Ghana the aviation hub of West Africa. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, at the conclusion of the debate, all those in favour of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
An act to establish the Accident Investigation and Prevention Bureau to investigate regulate and oversee the management of accidents and incidents that occur in the country and to provide for related purposes.
The Aircraft Accident Investigation and Prevention Bureau Bill 2019 is duly read a second time. Honourable members, item listed for motion. Honourable Minister for Finance. Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I hear some members asking where is the Finance Minister. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister has been with us and he is in the Speaker's holding room. Mr. Speaker, I brokered an agreement with the Minority Leader and we thought to be able to handle items 9 and 10 before the Finance Minister walks in. Unfortunately, because we spent so long a time on the aviation bill, we believe we should call him in to do item number 4. We should call him in to deal with item. So, Speaker, the man has been here in the presence of this House. You see him in body and spirit. You see him in body, spirit, and soul in a few moments from now. You guys just
Honourable Hussein.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today is a special day in the calendar of Parliament. Yes. Consistent with the requirement of a Minister of Finance to present to the people of this country through Parliament the mid-year review. The Minister of Finance should be eager to do that with alacrity. And so, in a house like this, on this day, he should be here listening even to what we are discussing.
Yeah, Speaker sent notice yesterday.
He should be here. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this is not how we sit. This is not how we sit in this house. But because of the importance of the event, the Speaker yesterday gave directives for the rearrangement of the hall and refused to receive visitors to protect us from coronavirus. The minister is not here.
3 hours.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday you gave an indication that the House will start at 10 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock now.
And where is the Finance Minister?
And where is the Finance Minister? Mr. Speaker,
but where is the Finance Minister? He's not here in the prison.
the Finance Minister will not come until he is ushered into this house.
Why?
Why will the Finance Minister be ushered into this house? We know that we accord parliamentary privilege and respect to 2 people in this country, including the Speaker. 3 people in this country, including the Speaker. When the Speaker is entering this house, he's ushered in, and we have to stand to receive him. When the President is entering this house, he's ushered in, then we stand to receive him. When the Vice President, in the absence of the President, is entering this house, we rise to receive him. We have never reason to receive a Finance Minister, neither have we ever ushered him into this house. Never. So the Finance Minister, Majority Leader,
And he's late. You know how he's late.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I can see the Finance Minister being ushered in. Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister.
Now that is 3 hours late.
Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister has been ushered in. And after 3 hours of our ceremony. But we can understand. This probably might be like his last media review. So we can understand. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, for the record, it must be stated that the finance minister got to this house at exactly 9:30. For the record, he was here at exactly 9:30. Mr. Speaker, the member who just spoke said that the finance minister is not ushered into the house. We have seen finance ministers whose entry into this house has been serenaded. We have seen finance ministers whose entry into this house has been serenaded. Serenaded. Not mere ushering, serenaded into this house. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, so I don't know where the member for Tamale Central